Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
The two E's in the word be are silent, right?
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
All right. If in the future I have gender reassignment surgery but travel back in time to be my first partner, did I actually lose my virginity or is that just like self love?
Let me see your hands. Wave them at them bitches hating on you with their friends. Girl, you got it. Let them know that.
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
What if the Girl Scouts is actually just a cookie company that uses child labor to sell their products?
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
I traded in my benzodiazepines, my Xanax, for magnesium and saffron, and I get just as high.
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
I wonder how many executioners are out there in the world who just genuinely want to unalive people, but they found a legal way to do it. And not even thinking about how we do executions now with like the lethal injection. Think about how we used to do executions. Think about how other countries do executions. And usually it's the same person that's doing it. For a normal person, taking someone's life normally like that would really fuck with their heads. Imagine if there's folks out there that genuinely just love taking the lives of other people. And so they found a way to be able to do what they love as a job. I feel like it's pretty likely. I mean, there's a lot of pedos out there that go into education strictly because they want to be surrounded by children. And in any other capacity, that would be fucking weird. It's fucked up to think about it that way. But considering how many female bodies get sexually assaulted in morgues because coroners are disgusting, some of which probably went into the position because that's exactly what they wanted to be able to do, I wouldn't put it past an executioner to try to do the same shit. Kind of the same.
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
All right. If you're thinking of investing in some big company, look up the CEO, read their bio. If they were born rich, like dad owned 27,000 New York City apartments or an apartheid diamond mine or a major shipping company, and then now they're the CEO of this, don't invest there long term. Don't invest there long term because they've put a figurehead in charge and that person doesn't understand normal people's motivations. So that company won't do well in the market for, pleasing customers, and it won't do well in keeping employees because people who grew up that rich don't understand normal people's motivations.
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
Okay, so hear me out. I regularly think about how you and I eat sawdust, and you're probably wondering what the fuck I'm talking about, and I'm gonna tell you. Cinnamon is technically bark, or wood, and we grind that into powder, which is this. But has it ever crossed your mind that that is technically sawdust? That's fucking weird.
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
Well, if a human gets skinned alive, then people tend to think about pain and possible infections and everything. But what they fail to realize is that that person can no longer regulate their temperature. And therefore, they end up with hypothermia. They freeze.
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
You know, if you were interested and dedicated enough, you could probably find out who the person is who has been to the hospital the greatest number of times because they got stuff stuck in their butt.
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
If getting a marriage license and filing taxes as a married couple are required by law, then why isn't cheating on your spouse considered a crime?
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
My opening line on a first date. Scientists a very long time ago used to extract compounds from beaver anus to help create raspberry and strawberry flavorings.
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
Okay, but just remember you asked. So God created Adam and Eve, and Adam and Eve had 3 kids, Seth, Cain, and Abel, all boys. And out of those 5 people, we are all apparently descendants. However, for that to be possible, that means that they were all boinking their mom. Which means that Cain's wife wasn't his wife, she was his sister aunt. Which means that the intro to that particular fantasy novel is all about incest.
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
If I don't finish a bottle of antibiotics and I put it in my medicine chest, I think, what if after the rapture, when all of the tribulation saints are running from the Antichrist and people with the mark of the beast, they run across this in the ruins of my household and somebody needs this antibiotic? I feel better for not taking all of it.
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
I was meeting these women at a travel expo meetup, and we had a list of icebreaker questions, to start the conversation. But don't worry, I'm there, so you don't need those questions. And this particular girl was like, oh my gosh, I have a lot of cats, blah, blah, blah. My first response question was, do you astral project? If you don't know what astral projection is, it's like when your soul leaves your body when you sleep. So that was my first question for this girl. And she's looking at me like, I do. And then I asked, well, have you astral projected, since you've gotten these cats? And she's like, oh my God, no, I haven't. And then I asked, well, do they gather around your head when you sleep? Do they sleep next to your head? And she's like, how do you know this? So then I proceeded to tell her that cats span the dimensions and they are protectors of the realm. And so they choose people to protect, and that her cats are protecting her soul and her body. So I don't need icebreaker questions ever.
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
I'll say the weird thing. This is absolutely a tinfoil hat theory that I'm not even 100% convinced of myself. For a long time, I've been wondering if the overturning of Roe, the lack of free college, and the lack of free healthcare in this country is partially, at least, due to the fact that military enrollment is down a lot. We need more soldiers that come from a poor background, because the number 1 and number 2 draws of being in the military is good healthcare, good because the VA sucks, and free college, the GI Bill. There is almost no other benefits from being in the military as opposed to being in the private sector and just working.
So y'all know when that girl was like, say the weird thing. Okay, I'm going to say the weird thing. I believe that autism and ADHD particularly are more so a spiritual issue than they are a physical issue, because they manifest physically, but I believe it comes from the idea that we are very spiritual beings. And when you have a very spiritual being that comes down into the earth plane and they are trying to ground themselves, they have a very hard time. And we call this neurodivergence, because think about it. Time does not exist in any other realm. What do people with ADHD struggle with? Time blindness. Additionally, sensitivities to senses, right? Senses are physical experiences. Those physical experiences can only happen on this dimension. So in this dimension, people have a hard time dealing with the nuances of, they have the issue with the hard time of dealing with the nuances of touch and taste and smell and all the different things that come with the actual lived experience of someone that is actually on earth. So then I wondered to myself, is this acclimation, or this is it really the acclimation to the earth plane that is what causes the neurodivergence? And I'm not saying that neurodivergence is not real. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's very real, but are we looking at the causes wrong? I may delete this.
Say the weird thing.
If you are trying to love yourself, you already do. Where do you think the trying comes from?
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
The 90s boy band Boyz II Men has a member of the group named Wanye Morris. He has 4 sons. They're all named Wanye. They're also now in a singing group, and the name of the group is One More. I know it, and now, so do you.
Say the weird thing.
Does anyone else think it's weird that a country that is trillions of dollars in debt has the audacity to judge its citizens with a credit score based on their personal debt?